Hello everyone, my name is Ruth Kaveke. I'm the director of Pony Techno Girls, a non-profit organization here in Mombasa, also a social enterprise that train young girls on how to do computer programming. We train people on website development. We also train them on mobile application development. Apart from that, we also do a program called Technovation, where we always engage high school girls from Mombasa. We train them on how to create mobile application that solves a community problem. We've been doing it like for around 3 years. We also engage young girls and university people on a program called Django Girls, where we train them on Django, which is a programming language, and Python. We also do programs like African Code Week, which we just completed 2 weeks ago. It's a program that assists young girls and ladies who are passionate about coding to learn how to code. It was a 2-day workshop. We trained them. And apart from that, I'm also a Tech Women Fellow. A Tech Women is a program that takes emerging leaders from Asia, Africa, and also other countries to the US for a professional mentorship, impact mentorship, and cultural exchange. And apart from that, I'm also a beneficiary of DOT, especially on the social entrepreneur part. I'm also going to share to you about Change Maker Power, which is the organization I just talked about, which is called Pony Techno Girls. We are based in Mombasa. I'm also a co-founder and the director with other girls, who one of them happened to be a social enterprise trainer at DOT. She's called Aisha. She was also part of the social enterprise training with Doreen Kamau, and also we also have other members, Joanne, Farida, and Lillian Kimeu. There is this part that I was requested to talk about, what inspires me to get out of bed every morning and gives me like an energy of 100%. Okay, according to me, what inspires me to wake up every day in the morning, I always believe of creating impact. And this impact especially to ladies, to young girls who are passionate about technology. I always believe it said that change always begins with an individual. I realize that most people are not well educated in tech. So as a lady in technology, I initiated that, started training young girls, and that is always what inspires me and motivates me. I also believe in changing the community, which is especially towards the girl child, empowering them to venture into technology. Okay, also I was to talk about when things get tough on my side as a social entrepreneur, what do I always do? And I would really love to appreciate DOT Kenya and the entire DOT organization plus DOT Rwanda. There is this conference that I attended like 2 months or 3 months ago. It's called African Connect. This is where I happened to be in a talk where Jack Ma was talking, and Jack Ma said that today is hard, tomorrow is harder, but the day after tomorrow will be successful. This is an encouragement to the youth outside there. When you start a social enterprise, I know at the beginning is very tough. Maybe you share your ideas to different people, pitch your ideas to different investors, but at some point, people always don't get whatever you are talking about or more information about your social enterprise. But what I would like to encourage you, always continue with your passion, always keep doing what you do, because as this quote says, today it might, maybe the day after tomorrow will be more hard. As time goes by, you continue doing whatever you want, and it's having a positive effect on the community. People are going to believe in what you are doing. And also, I would like to share how I use social media for my work, and also how social media has assisted me in my social enterprise and as an individual. First, as a social entrepreneur, what I do I always brand myself out there as a social entrepreneur. If you check my personal page, our organization page, I always talk about whatever I train. I talk about my passion, which is about training young girls how to code. When we go to reach out, we go and train. I always like posting photos of me with the girls, just to encourage the young girls outside there that they can also learn how to code, and also to inspire more girls to venture into technology. So part of my work on social media, I don't post a lot of personal things on social media. I'm always straight on point. I put whatever I want people to know about me, the image that I would like people to associate me outside on social media, which is always empowering women on technology. This has really assisted me as an individual, and also my organization that I'm part of, called Pwani Techno Girls, because like I always post a lot of things that I always do. There was a time I even didn't know there was an organization from Germany called eSkills. They just reached out to me, and the way they found out about me, it's through social media. They just went, I think maybe they searched for any lady doing technology and inspiring young girls in Mombasa, and they were able to reach out to me through email, and we scheduled a meeting with them. And after that, this has been very successful, because through that initiative, our organization, Pwani Techno Girls, was able to get a grant to train young girls on African Code Week, which was a two-day workshop. So as a social entrepreneur, you have to know what you want to put outside there, or what you want people to associate you with. Secondly, how I use social media as an organization or as a director, I always use it for crowdfunding. This is very effective, especially if you are consistent with whatever you post. I can give an example. There was a time my colleague Aisha, we decided to bring this workshop called Django Girls. It's based in the US, so like you have to come up with a group maybe in different cities. So it was the first time we were doing it here in Mombasa, and doing a workshop for 2 days requires funds, and we really targeted a lot of girls. We even had like our number going beyond our expectations. So we used social media to get money or get funds. We created an online platform at Ukiari where people could donate, and this was very effective, because like I can say a quarter of our funds actually came from the social media, which I would really like to encourage all the social entrepreneurs outside there. And also how I use social media is to showcase exactly what I've been talking about. I always showcase what I always do as an individual, and I always like sharing what Pwani Techno Girls as an organization do. Okay, I also have some advice for change makers or social entrepreneurs who maybe be listening or following on my live session. Okay, one thing is that you should always believe in your idea and continue reaching out to your network for help. At first, coming up with something or social entrepreneur, a project that people will benefit, at first it's always maybe very hard, because maybe you think as an individual and say, okay, let me start this idea. Maybe you come up maybe from a problem that people are facing, but it's always be very consistent. I could also share my journey maybe towards maybe inspiring more girls into technology. Just after my internship in third year at the university, I was really frustrated. Like my supervisor really couldn't believe that ladies could actually do most of the tech things. So by that, I was inspired to just gather a group of girls in my university, and also with other few ladies who are very good in technology. We started training them at our university. We also realized more people from different universities in Mombasa were very interested, and after that we got attraction by other women in Nairobi who like have a good network, and they assisted us to grow. So the main aim of telling out this story is always believe in your idea, and if you are passionate about it, at some point you'll have just to grow and scale. So an idea is always very small, you just have to keep dreaming. I can remember at some point we could just call ladies to we come and train them. Sometimes you don't go to class, just to take your time like 3 hours, go and wait for ladies and no one shows up. But we didn't give up, we just continue with our dream because we realized that it's going to assist many people outside there. And also my second advice to social entrepreneur outside there, or change makers, always work with a team that believes in the objectives of the organization or the aim of the social enterprise. If you work with a team that believes whatever the dream the organization is, it's always very easy because you share the same dream, they have the same skills, so it's easy to move the organization forward as compared to working maybe with people with different objectives. It's very frustrating at some point, and maybe it might slow down the organization. So also when you select your team, if you have an idea as a youth person, always be very selective on the type of people you have on your team, because this is going to influence the success of your social enterprise. Okay. There is also one thing I also want to share, apart from like this quote that I always get from Jack Ma: when things get tough, I always tell myself that yes, I can. It's always possible. So believe in yourself, and I believe everything is going to be possible. So maybe for anyone watching, maybe if you have a question, you can share it with me. I'll be ready to answer. And also, as you prepare to write a question to me that I can answer, maybe I also have this question to the social entrepreneur outside there. This question is, how do you scale your social enterprise? Maybe like you have a situation with one office, and like how do you scale it maybe to reach out to many people in different parts of your country? Okay, maybe I can try and see some of the questions. Maybe you can ask me any question that you feel you want to know about my journey as a social entrepreneur. I'll be ready to answer. Okay, I'm just waiting for any questions. Feel free to ask me any question. Feel free to ask me any questions, and then I'll answer. I'm trying to see some of the questions that you people are trying to engage me. Okay, there is this question from a very good question from Judy Muriuki. Which African entrepreneur motivates you? Actually, maybe to bridge the gender gap of women in technology. She's called Anar Simpson. She's very good at her work. She has been able to set a challenge called Technovation, which aims at training girls at the high school level or at primary level to come up with mobile applications which can be used to solve community problems. She has been able to scale up the project to more than 100 countries globally, and she's working very hard to ensure that the program reaches to every girl in the world. and she's maybe very good at coming up with partnership to which partners can assist the organization go. So she's one of the ladies who really inspires me and keeps me mentoring other young girls. Okay, let me see some good questions from you people. Okay, there is this comment from Ruth Mugoe. Good work, Ruth. How do you strike a balance between a social entrepreneur and a woman in technology? Wow, this is really a good question. As a woman in technology, I work like as a freelance developer where I create people's projects. So how I always do it, I always divide my time during the day. Maybe I always have like 3 hours session whereby I always train girls at Polytechno Girls, whereby at some point we have like paid projects where ladies come pay for their projects, which is website and mobile development. We train them. So like I always have a session with other ladies. So maybe I always have a session from around 9 to 11. Then maybe after 11 to around 3 or to 4, I always have time to work on the client's project. And also during the evening or during night hours, that's the time I always maximize, because it's always very quiet, less distraction, less phone calls, less engagement. So that's the time I always work on the project. So I always try to balance the two, because apart from being a woman in technology, I also need to inspire other young girls. So I always create time. I always create time that I can inspire these young girls. Okay. There is this good questions from Judy. She's asking about where do I see myself in 10 years. Okay. I always see myself in 10 years in Mombasa. Maybe we have, as a social enterprise, Polytechno Girls, we create, since we will be training for all these years and for the short time we have been training, I see myself as we are having a very good network of these young girls and these young ladies we train on technology. We have like a good network where these girls can always depend on each other. These ladies can always refer each other to work. And also the same girls that we train, they can mentor these young girls. And also maybe establishing a technology hub for girls only here in Mombasa, because here in Mombasa we have like a culture where girls and boys don't mix at all. So as parents, parents here in Mombasa are very comfortable if maybe they have session with their girls being mentored by females or ladies, which is I think we plan to have. So in 10 years I can see myself with my organization moving and having like approximately like around 300 or 500 men technology who actually know each other, very good in website and mobile development. They can always get jobs, refer each other to different companies, and build an ecosystem of women technology here in Mombasa. Yes, thank you. Ruth says good work. Ruth says she's not really famous. Oh, really? I didn't know I'm famous. I know at personal level, and our journey always inspires me. Thanks, Ruth, so much. She always inspires me. Ruth was also one of my mentor when we were doing the social enterprise. She really trained and inspired us, me and Aisha. Especially at some point we didn't have like the entrepreneurship part in our organization, but through her help and other dot staff, we also had like some good insight and help from Mike Tanui, Ruth Mugoe, Judy, Petronilla. They really assisted us. Now we have like a paid training where girls can come in our center to get trained. Thanks so much, Ruth. Okay, we have Brighton asking any response from parents regarding the training on high school girls. Oh, really? This is a very good question. We always have positive reply from parents, especially from the girls' side. we find parents very excited because like there are very few women in technology, and us as Pwani Techno Girls creating this platform of having ladies training other ladies, parents are always inspired, and even some parents share that some of their girls have improved maybe their performance in schools, due to some of the programs we train them. We also have some parents, especially from Mount Sinai School, who says their girls' performance have really improved. They also gain courage. So apart from just training them, maybe we also give the girls an opportunity to share whatever they've learned, give them an opportunity to express themselves, how they can pitch ideas. So this really helps to improve their courage, which parents sometimes are very happy about it. Okay, I also have this awesome question from Ruth. Do you think the government is doing enough to boost or bridge the gap of women in technology involvement in STEM? On my side, I can't say that the government is doing a lot. Actually, when at our stage, it has been very hard as an organization, maybe to get even government officials, even like the women working in technology at the government. It's actually very hard to get them come and speak to these girls, and having the position that they work in the government, I believe they should create that an opportunity, maybe to come out, speak out to these girls. Girls can reach out to them. And also secondly, it's like it's a challenge, like actually to get reach to them, because like you see, especially in our country, there's a lot of protocols. If you want to maybe to get someone at the highest level of authority, you want to engage them, actually it's very hard. Also, there was a time we were doing this big project that we wanted to involve high school girls, around 180 girls from 11 high schools in Mombasa. So we needed like a letter from the Ministry of Education. Actually, it was really a challenge. We had to get someone who knows someone so that we can just get that letter to reach out to this school, because actually we couldn't reach to this school without getting that letter. So I say it's a challenge actually to get people from the government work with the organization, and like there's actually very little support from the government. But at some point, I always admire the Rwandan government. I've interacted with ladies, and I've also been in Kigali. The government, especially the Minister of ICT, any project that is geared towards ICT, the government is always in. And at some point, my friend was making a joke that it's hard to come up with your own project if you don't involve the government, because it will end up failing. But in our case here, I think it's opposite. So it's a bit difficult. Maybe if there is any lady, a policy maker working in the government, listening to me, maybe you can try do something. If maybe you are invited, you have maybe ladies running initiatives like us, they involve the youth. They just want maybe to have your time. They want maybe to network with you, know whatever you do. Maybe at some point, maybe you can refer them to maybe different jobs. I will encourage you to be very open and assist them. Thanks, Ruth, for that very good question. I would like to answer this question by Francis Zukoa. Thanks so much. It's a very good question. Any challenge you have faced so far, and how have you been able to overcome them? I've really faced a lot of so many challenges, but let me think of a very big one and how I overcame. Yes, there is the largest problem that I had, apart from the other problems I've always encountered as a social entrepreneur and having maybe more girls to venture into technology. I had to work in an organization, and this organization, we had like a small group of ladies who were still under that organization, and we really had very little support from the organization. And maybe at some point I viewed some of my members are not really valued, and they really worked very hard to make sure that they inspire other girls. But despite this, maybe like we didn't get much support from the organization, and at some point they didn't believe in whatever we were doing. So my biggest challenge was making a decision whether I should continue with working with the same organization or I should leave the organization, bearing in mind that I still have the same passion to inspire young girls and also other ladies to venture into technology, and also maybe have my team members. So this was one of the toughest decisions I've ever made in my life. I'm a very religious person, so at some point I even prayed about it before I made that decision. So I knew my decision is going to affect so many things, but I knew it was the best decision. So I decided to quit from the organization, to take some rest, but actually me quitting, and I don't even know what happened. Also my team members quitted, and like they told me, Ruth, no, there's no way we are going to stop our passion, we have to continue. And thanks to these amazing women, they're called Tech Women 2014 alumni, Umi and Sandra. These are amazing ladies who are always on our side, always encouraging us, assisting us in each and every step that we grow. Yeah, so that's one of my biggest challenge, and that's how I overcame it. Thanks, Ikoa. Okay. There is also, I have this question: what was the biggest challenge you faced during your path being a woman in technology and an entrepreneur? Play a positive or negative role? Wow, this is a very, very good question. Actually, this is what inspired me to form my organization, to continue inspiring young girls. This question comes from Chabel. Thanks so much. How I came up with organization, or how I should bring these young girls to train them together. I was just in third year and I was going for my internship, because like I always like technology. Most of my friends were guys. So when I went to this company, I actually did my homework. I knew what the company wanted, the technology they used. I actually came up with 2 websites, both in the technology they wanted, which is Joomla and WordPress. So like I knew this is what they were going to ask me. So when I was presenting my project, my supervisor was like, Ruth, was this project done by you or was it done by your friends? I was actually shocked, like at some point, why didn't he even have to ask me that question? Because I also believe some of my male friends who were in the same company were not asked the same question. So this really inspired me even to learn more. And also I had to prove myself. One of the things that I've realized as a woman in technology, you just have to work very hard to be maybe a bit smarter, so that you have to outshine or show other male guys that you work together that you can actually do, as compared to the male counterparts who like actually don't have like a rough way. Like it's always believed that they're very good in tech. So as a woman in technology, I always have to work very hard and go an extra mile just to prove that I can do. And this, as a social entrepreneur, this positively influenced my life, because it made me gain more new skills, and also at some point gave me an opportunity to train young girls, especially at the university level, so that they don't get frustrated as I was. I know maybe at some point some ladies maybe could get frustrated and maybe decide to leave tech, but no. I said let me take it as an initiative to encourage more ladies to venture into technology. Thanks so much, Chabel, for your question. Let me see any other question from here. I have a question from Brighton. Have spaces like Swahilipot supported you? Wow, this is a very good question. Yes, this is a very big yes. Technology spaces like Swahilipot here in Mombasa has really played a very great role in our social enterprise, which is Pwani Techno Girls. We always get support from the people, from just the members. Like different members have different skills. We have like say we have workshop. We always have the tech department always assist us. We have the techies who always volunteer their time. Like at some point it's always like 2 days they believe in our mission, so they always support us. And also we've gotten like a very huge support just being in the space where we can utilize the network, which is very fast. Excuse me. And also we have like a good furniture that provides a conducive environment for the young girls. And also as a space, they always expose us maybe to young girls, ladies who always come to the space. They want to learn technology. They always share our contacts and also maybe network us together so that we can assist them. So spaces like Swahilipot has really played a big part in our growth, and we really appreciate, because also at some point we also learn some trainings, we interact with some of the good programmers, the techies at Swahilipot who always assist us. We also have the art department who also assist us. They assist us in sharing our posters, sharing our information and everything. So spaces like Swahilipot has really been of great help. Okay, Azai, you maybe wait for some few questions. Maybe there's this question I asked, like how can you create, how can you scale your social enterprise maybe to a different level or to accommodate more people? Maybe if you just have an idea, you can just drop a comment. I'd also like to share towards the end of this session what I think can assist in scaling your social enterprise to different level or to different parts of your country. Okay, since like I haven't received any question, I'll just maybe continue maybe for the next 10 minutes or 15 minutes before I end the session. But meanwhile, I love to share my skills, especially on how do you scale your social enterprise. I know most of the social entrepreneurs are very young. At some point, you're always maybe invited to some of the big conferences. You'll be maybe like meet people who actually can assist your social enterprise grow. But as a young person, it's always very hard. Imagine at some point you meet with the president, like you didn't plan, or maybe like you attended like maybe a conference and the president comes to you. Like how do you even start explaining your social enterprise to them in a way that they can always remember? So I always encourage people to read. There is this book, I've been going through it. It's called Never Eat Alone. This book was shared to me by my friend during the Tech Women program, Topi. Topi, thanks so much for sharing this book. It has really been beneficial. In this book, they highlight to you some of the things you need to do before like you go to a networking event. Things like when you go there, you must make sure you have like a list of people maybe like you like to meet. Maybe you can have a list of maybe influencers which like are very high profile people. Like if you meet with them, how are you going to present yourself? And also there is this fear in us. It's always be there. There is no way maybe at some point you are going to maybe avoid it. Like going to meet high profile people, what are you going to say? What are you going to talk about? And it's always very good to always take names. And one of the biggest thing I've learned, especially when I was for my Tech Women program, it's always ask. You always, like as youths, we have a network of friends, our friends' friends, our relatives. So you also have like some of the organization heads, some of the people who work at those organizations. So what I always learned is that always ask. If you ask, maybe the worst thing that can happen is maybe the response will be like no. But if someone tells you no, you won't die, like now they've told you no, life will not move on. So this is just an encouragement to always ask, always reach to your network that you have. You never know, maybe like asking, for instance, we've partnered with, at some point we've worked with DOT as a DOT youth. Maybe you have like a social enterprise you're working on. You feel at some point you might need any support from the organization, from any of the trainer. Just always ask. I believe at some point, if he or she cannot assist you there and there, she has networks that she can refer you to, or he can refer you to, and at some point you are going to benefit. So as youths, never hesitate to ask. Just ask. And the worst scenario is receiving a no, and always a no will never kill you. So that's one of the major takeaway I took from the Tech Women program. Always ask. Okay, I just received a question here. Let me try and read it. Okay, there's this question from Brighton. How do you plan to use your experience during your Tech Women fellowship? Okay, for my Tech Women fellowship, I was even attached to one of my dream company, Mozilla, where I learned a lot of web development, especially on the web security part. The skills that I learned, I'm also planning to share them with some of the tech people, especially at the co-working space, the Swahili Port, and also share them with my team members at my organization. And also I plan to use my experience, especially the networks and some of the lessons that I learned, to improve myself professionally and also to improve my organization, and always maybe to have an opportunity to share each and everything that I learned. Whenever I meet different people that I feel they need to hear this information, I always talk to them. One thing about myself, I'm always very generous. I always like people benefiting from my network. Some of the networks that I received during the Tech Women program or the Tech Women mentorship, I'm willing to share them with different people, different organizations that at some point I believe they are going to benefit, or how they can partner. So as Dot Youth, maybe at some point you might be hearing from me, sharing some networks. If you see that it's somewhere you can benefit, always go for it. And also I plan some of the experiences that I had during the Tech Women. We as youths, maybe at some point, maybe after campus or at the university or after high school, like after we are done with academics, maybe reading, that's the end. I plan to use the experience that I realized in the US. People always read a lot. Also, like the book that I shared, maybe I know it's a book that you can buy. I got one. So if at some point you cannot maybe be able to afford the book, it's called Never Eat Alone. You can reach out to me, I can share it with you. So some of the experience, I plan to improve my life, maybe by reading a lot. Yes, I hope I answered this question very well. And also I would like to share with some of the youth who are especially in science, technology, engineering, and maths about Tech Women. Tech Women is one of the life-changing program I've ever done in my life. It's a program that actually gives you an opportunity to learn what you want to learn towards your life or towards your interest. And also it gives you an opportunity to meet with inspiring women. Actually, these high-profile women that you always see maybe in the US doing great things, they give you an opportunity to meet with them. And actually, when you talk to them, they are very friendly. It's like they form a community of women. Like there was one of the mentors who shared, like at some point men could go maybe to golf. They actually don't play golf, but they always go there to do businesses. That's where maybe they struck about maybe big businesses, form partnership. So they said like I remember what she said, like fellowship like Tech Women and any other fellowship that inspires more young girls. It's just an opportunity for women who are in the same field to support and to help each other, which have seen. So it's a very good program. It always runs every year. If you are in STEM, that is science, technology, and engineering, feel free to apply. And also there are so many opportunities like in DOT. If you are a DOT youth, there are so many opportunities that are always shared by our amazing people who work at DOT. Thanks so much for always sharing those opportunities to us. I encourage every youth to apply. Like actually, I learned about social entrepreneurship while I was in DOT, and one of our trainers was Mike Tanui, which I always appreciate meeting Michael Tanui. Michael really assisted us, taught us about social entrepreneurship, and even mentored us towards like actually following up. Like, this is what you people had said. You had planned to train. I can't see you people, you've not started training. What's up? So like he kept mentoring and pushing us. So some of these programs at DOT, let's not take them for granted. They're always very helpful. Yes. Okay, there's this question from Mike. Working with girls over the years, what do you plan to do differently in 2018? This is a very, very, very good question. So in 2018, one thing that personally or as a social enterprise Pwani Techno Girls, what we plan to do differently is this time we want to plan a workshop like a very big tech conference, Women in Tech. We realize that there's so many tech conferences that happens maybe in Nairobi, but we haven't maybe received one, or we have never done one in Mombasa. So as an organization and also as an individual, whatever we're planning to do, we plan to have like a very big conference, maybe like that can handle like around 400 ladies, girls from high school, from different fields. So we target people, especially girls and ladies who are in science, technology, engineering, and maths. So we plan to have like a session where we have like ladies who are working in science, have their session maybe in a room where they can share with young girls, ladies, maybe who inspire to continue working in science, people who work in technology, engineering, and maths. And also, the aim of this workshop is to provide a networking platform. Like for instance, if maybe like a high school student, maybe a Form 4 student who just attended the workshop, and maybe she was interested maybe in becoming maybe a scientist, she can get that opportunity of maybe having like a personal touch with a woman who is a scientist, who can actually mentor her and assist her towards her journey. So one of the things that we're planning to do differently in 2018 is having like a big conference where we can have different women, different people from different schools, maybe different parts of Mombasa, to come and attend and maybe get inspired, get networks, and continue being mentored in technology and STEM. Okay. Okay, having answered these questions, I would really like to thank all of you who took your time to be on this session. I hope the session really inspired you and maybe you learned from me. At some point I wanted to learn from you guys, but I don't know what happened. No one was ready to share, but just feel free. The question that I asked, maybe you can even post a comment immediately after I finish my live session, is how do you scale your social enterprise to a different level? And also special appreciation to Judy. Judy have been very supportful in this session. You've really assisted me, and also you inspire me by day to continue working and giving back to the community. Thanks so much, Judy. To my mentors and some of our trainers at DOT, Michael Tanui, Ruth Mgoi, thank you so much. You've been part of my life, my successful life, and also part of our success in Polytechnic Girls as an organization. We value Dot support, and I'm always very proud to be associated by Dot Youth. And anytime I'm invited, or anyone who feels that I can give a session in the organization, maybe as youth groups, feel free always to reach out to me. I'm always very available. I don't give cold reply. I always give warm reply, meaning that I'll be available to come and reach out. Thanks so much, everyone. Thanks so much to Brighton, ECOA, for being live on the session. Bye, guys. Thanks so much.